In this video, I'm going to show you how to file an intellectual property infringement report on Etsy. This is what you will go to and file if someone is using your property, your intellectual property, something like a copyright or a trademark that you own. So to file this form, you will have to own the rights or be the third-party company representing the organization that owns the rights to the property, or you will have to be authorized for the company. So if none of these apply and you are not actually filing on a copyright or trademark or something that you can legally prove, you will have to just go back and look through the Etsy handbook and see what you can do, because this is a legal form. So you'll have to actually prove your claim. So let's look at the actual form. I will leave the link to this down below, but on this first page, when you click through, you will see the question, you allege that content on Etsy violates intellectual property that you own the rights to, a third party, a company or organization owns the rights to, or a company organization that you are authorized to act on behalf. Or if none of these apply, you do not have a case, so you'll have to just look at Etsy policies and see what you can do. When you make one of these selections, you will see a little pop-up at the bottom that says submitting a notice of infringement is serious. You are initiating a legal process. Fraudulent or abusive notices or other misuse of the intellectual property policy can result in termination or other legal consequences. Basically, this means you are doing something legal here, and if you are just using this to try to shut down a competitor or someone else's shop, it's going to backfire on you. Basically, you're going to have to prove everything. So I'll show you all the steps here to prove it if you have an actual claim. But be careful, this is not a toy. This is not something that you want to fill out if you are not certain 100% that you own the rights to the intellectual property that you are reporting. If you are sure and you do want to go ahead with that, you will just make your selection and then click the next button at the bottom of the page. On this first page, you are filling out your information. So you'll fill out your about info with all of your name, address, and your contact information so that Etsy can contact you about this claim. So on this page, you have the intellectual property type. So here you have to decide what you're actually being infringed upon. So is it a copyright? So if you select copyright, down here, you'll have to, of course, say your name and your company, or if it's a company you're representing, put that here. And then if it is available online, you check yes or no. But then down here is the part where you have to actually fill in the information about the copyrighted work. So you have to give the name or title of it. You have to select if it's an item, a video, image, or other media, which is very common, especially on other sites like YouTube, or if it's writing, or if it's a name, title, slogan, something like that. And then they want to see examples of the work, so you'll have to fill in this, and it can be a URL to another website or your work somewhere else on the web. Then you will have to say if the copyright is registered, and if it's registered, you have to put in the information. So you have to put where it's registered and the registration number. If it's not, then you will not have any of that. So if you're doing a trademark infringement, you will then come down here and put what the trademark is, and if it's registered, you click yes. Then you'll have to put in the registration number, the jurisdiction of the trademark, and the classes. If it's pending application, you'll have to put in all of that information and when it was first used and where the trademark is used. So a little bit more information. But if it's not, but you think you have other basis for trademark rights, you can spell out the legal basis that you have for that claim right here. Then you have to select if it's words design or the words and design, and then when you first used it and where the trademark is used. So that's how trademark works. And next is counterfeit goods. But then if you select intellectual property type patent, it comes up down here. What is the name or title of the patent? And then if it's registered, so if it's registered, you click yes. And then again, you put the registration number and basically where it's patented. If your patent is pending, then you can't actually file for infringement on it, because to report patent infringement on Etsy, the patent must be registered. And so if it's not registered yet, you don't have a case here. So you have to have a registered patent if you are trying to file intellectual property infringement against something patented. So if you have another claim, anything else that's not copyright, trademark, counterfeit goods, or patent, you will select other, and then down here you will put what is the intellectual property that you think is being infringed upon and the legal basis for your claim. So basically you're always going to have to justify why you are filling out this form. And if you don't, that is going to be a problem. So in counterfeit goods, when you select that, you'll scroll down and you will again have to do the trademark information. So you'll have trademark, or if it's not trademarked, and fill out all the same things as the case for actual trademark infringement. Once you're happy with your answers, click next and it will bring you up to the next page, which is the material type that you are reporting. So on infringing materials in this report, you're going to have to list what actually you are reporting. Is it a shop listing? And then you'll just copy and paste the URL to the listing here. You can also add multiple at once if someone is just copying everything and making multiple listings of your products. If you have a trademark and someone is using that as a username, this would be where you enter the username or the URL for the username. Then same thing for a shop name. If someone is using your trademark as a shop name, you would put the shop name that is using that is infringing on your trademark here. If someone has stolen your videos, for example, if you have a product and they stole your videos to show off on their shop, you could add the URL for that there. Or a video as an Explore post, you could also add the shop ID and Explore post ID here for that. So let's use shop name as an example. So if you had a shop name that was using your trademark, you would just type in the shop name here and then click add shop name. So then it will pull up the shop, and this is my shop. So I'm obviously just doing this as an example and will not be following through because I am not infringing on my own trademark. But as an example, if you add the shop name, it will pull up that information there. If you use the URL, it'll do the same thing. So you can also remove it if that was a mistake, but let's just add this back so you can see what happens. So if you're happy and you've selected the right thing that you think is infringing, you would click next again, and then you're at the final page, which is the authorization. So this is where you submit the report, and it is legal and it is something that you need to be sure that you are in good faith submitting, and you have to answer a bunch of things. You have to check mark these that say, I have good faith belief that the material is not authorized by the intellectual property owner, its agent, or the law. And then also the information provided in the notice is accurate, and I swear under penalty of perjury that I am authorized to make the complaint on behalf of the intellectual property owner. Then you sign your name, and then you click this submit this report when you're ready. If you've decided by this time that you're a little unsure, you don't really know, or you don't want to follow through, you just click cancel report, and you will lose all the information that has been entered and not saved, which I'm going to do because I'm not filing against myself. But that is how you do an intellectual property infringement report on Etsy. It is something that you can do if someone is taking the rights to your product or your shop name or something you have trademarked. If that is the case, you definitely should file this and go after that person, because Etsy is full of lots of really low moral type people, and they steal all the time. So if you do have a legitimate legal claim, I highly recommend that you follow through, because these people should not be able to do that. So this is how you file the intellectual property infringement report, and I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Create with Pennies Not Perfection for more tips and tutorials on creating an income online. In the meantime, make sure you check out this next video, and we'll see you over there.